Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm here to talk about my story with the Me Again group. Well, when I got diagnosed back in 2019, um, the range of treatment that I was having was chemotherapy. I knew I was going to start using this cold cap therapy, so hopefully I didn't lose my hair. But I became quite ill during treatment, had a bit of a reaction to the chemo, and I decided not to carry on with the cold cap therapy, so I lost my hair very, very quickly. Luckily enough, there was a lot of support there with Macmillan and what have you at Clatterbridge, and they told me that I was eligible for an NHS voucher for a wig. So there were various places to go and look for one, and one of them was Deborah Alpha in Brimstage. And the minute we walked in, we'd been to a couple of other places, but Deborah Alpha in Brimstage was just fantastic. You know, she made us sort of, me and my daughter, feel very at ease when we came, and tried some wigs on, and we kept going back and trying this on, and a new one would arrive. So we eventually found one, and it was absolutely great. It was styled, cut and styled to my liking, and it was very realistic. So my hair really started coming out in big chunks, and Deb cut it for me. Eventually had to have it all shaved off. So she was one of the few people who'd seen me with no hair, because it's quite distressing. I think that losing the hair is one of the worst aspects. It's very vain, I know, but that's the way it was. You can sort of cope with the chemotherapy because you know it's doing good, but losing your hair, it's you're very self-conscious, and I didn't like my partner to see me without wearing a hat. So the wig was absolutely fantastic, and I used to come in and have it washed and dried and styled. So that was invaluable. That really gave me a lot of confidence, and a lot of people didn't even know I was wearing a wig. It was that real. I was quite impressed, and it was so easy just to get ready so quickly and then put your wig on. It was like I got another extra half hour every morning kind of thing. So that was a positive thing. And then she introduced me to the Me Again group. Anyway, she asked if I'd like to come to the coffee mornings. I don't want to talk to lots of people about cancer. I just want to run away from it and just mix with normal people. I didn't really feel that that was for me, because I like to think I'm sort of quite a positive person. I thought I don't want to sit around having coffee with everyone talking about cancer. And I thought, well, she showed me around the place, and the surroundings upstairs where they do these coffee mornings was so lovely, and I happened to be there one Friday morning. One was on, so I went up and I thought, flipping heck, everybody's having a bit of a laugh, and it's all free cake and what have you, and it didn't look as though it was anything that I imagined it to be. And I thought, oh right, so I think I might give that a try. So the next meeting I went and had such a lovely time. It was lots of different women, different different times of their treatment. I was like a beginner, but the people that had been there 2 years on or whatever, and so people were swapping stories, but it was light-hearted. It was about what shampoo to get for your wig, and conversations that you probably couldn't have with anybody else. And it was really, really good. And some of the workshops were absolutely great. There was Reiki and healthy eating. That was good. They brought a lady in from the Good Food Kitchen in Neston, and she showed you how to make healthy snacks. And it was so interesting. And relaxation techniques, a bit of yoga, but really, really, flower arranging and things that you wouldn't normally go and do. And it was just a nice change. So I really look forward to having these days. And it wasn't what I expected, sitting around with a load of people talking about cancer. It wasn't like that at all. It was quite the opposite, in fact. So so I've really enjoyed being part of the group. And also I don't know how she does it, but she offered people, such as me in my position, 3 free treatments from the beauty salon, which was, absolutely more than enough. So you know, having the cancer diagnosis has been hard, but there's been lots and lots of lovely people and lots of things, benefits that have come my way. So I've just been very lucky to be involved in this group. Yeah, the treatment's been quite gruelling, to be honest. It started last year with the full rounds of chemo. Well, getting over the shock first of the diagnosis. My daughter was living over in Crete and working in Crete, and I felt like I couldn't tell her over the phone. I had to go out there and tell her, and they let me go and have that that holiday for a week. So that was quite hard. So I was quite stressed up when the chemo started. But it wasn't so bad. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, having a PICC line in was very uncomfortable, and you're very self-conscious. That's a thing that you have in your arm that's like a permanent fixture for when you have chemo. But you know, you get around it. So I've forgotten how many sessions I had of that, but I did have a spell in hospital because obviously with the chemotherapy, it kills the good cells as well as the bad cells. And there was some reaction because of white blood cells that caused a shortage of oxygen in my colon or something. So it was a bout of ischemic colitis that they reckon was attributed to the low white blood count. So I had a week in hospital in Arrow Park. It was, you know, it was a diarrhea, sickness, I was bleeding and what have you. Anyway, got over that. They cancelled chemo and I eventually started again. Then straight after that, I think it was about 6 weeks in between, I was scheduled to have my mastectomy, which happened earlier on this year, in February 2020. That went well. Obviously, there was it was uncomfortable, and I had a bit of nerve pain afterwards. But once the drips had been removed, it was a loss. But I'm 62 now. I think if I'd have had the operation when I was younger, I probably would have felt really bad about it. But I've already decided that I don't want to have any reconstruction. They couldn't have done reconstruction for me at that time anyway, because there was a chance I was going to have radiotherapy. So I've come to terms with that. Obviously, it's losing your hair and losing your boob all in the space of a few short months doesn't make you feel very feminine, but you know, it is the way you've got to sort of think of it in your mind. It's saved your life, and you know, all the falsies I've had have been great. Have been absolutely great. After the mastectomy, I was on a course for every 3 weeks for 18 sessions of targeted therapy because I was what you call HER2 positive. Not sure I understand the workings of it, but anyway, this targeted therapy zaps these growth hormones. And all was going well for a while, you know. The chemotherapy things had worn off, getting over the mastectomy. But then I started to develop a really bad reaction to this therapy. That's been the worst part of treatment for me, unfortunately, because I feel like I've sailed through the other part quite positively, or people tell me I've been fairly positive, you know, with my outlook on things, you know. And but this really has driven me mad. It's what I've got is called a neuropathic itch, which aggravates the nerve endings. It's all on the upper body. So I just stopped taking everything. I didn't even ask anybody. I didn't stop the steroids, and I didn't stop the amitriptyline that I'm on at night, which is to do with the nerve ending stuff. But the other antihistamine stuff, I stopped because I was getting such a bad reaction to that. And I thought, my body's just been through enough. I just can't take anymore. And I was beside myself with lack of sleep. I'm still a bit like that now, but it is starting to get better. Literally the past few days, I've started to feel a little bit better. But yeah, it's a shame that this has happened. So I'm either itching at night or I can't sleep because I'm on steroids. But you're so desperate to get some help because you think they're professionals, and don't get me wrong, they are, and I've had some really good treatment. But I'm now in charge of my body, and I feel really so much better knowing that I'm doing that for myself. I'm starting to feel a bit better now and in charge again. So that's where I'm up to treatment-wise, and I'm just so tired, so tired. So having that facial was really therapeutic. In fact, it was so relaxing I fell asleep. And but to start really taking care of myself and giving myself the best possible chance of recovery, you know, and being in charge of my own body and treating it and, you know, feeding it well and what have you. But I think now is the hardest time, really, probably, when I think about it, because for the past 15 months or so, I've been at the centre of treatment, and, you know, lots of attention from everybody at Clatterbridge and going there on a regular basis, and appointments here, appointments there. But now treatment's over, that's all going to stop, and I'm far from well. I'm probably more unwell at this point than I have been throughout treatment, but treatment's finished. I just need to recover now. And I feel really quite weak, and obviously the lack of sleep. But the steroids, you know, will come down eventually, and it will all go away, hopefully. But you say you're the centre of treatment with everybody, friends and family and staff at Clatterbridge. You know, you are the one, with all these appointments to go to and friends helping. But now it's sort of all over. You know, I think this is the time when I probably need more help than any time, because you sort of stand alone a little bit. And it's people like, you know, the Me Again group, which will be important more now than then, in a way, because you know, you've got to get on in life, you've got to go back to work. Potentially, I can't see that just at the moment for me, because I've never felt so lousy, to be honest. But you know, you've got to go back to work, you've got to start, you can't be doing this forever. Life has got to get back to normal, and you know, and it's like the Me Again was such a great way to describe it, because that's what you want. You just want to be me again, and get normality back. So it's getting out there and being okay to treat yourself, and it's okay, you know, to concentrate on yourself. And I don't think I've ever done that, to be honest with you. You know, I've bought some serum the other day that cost 25 quid, and I've never spent that on anything before. And I'm thinking, you know, because you're worth it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's been around. I'm lucky. I've got a few friends that are just absolutely brilliant. They're all lovely women that are fun and intelligent, and, you know, and friendly and kind and everything. And you really appreciate the friends that you do have, and certain family members as well. But you you know, you've got to keep that up. You've got to keep in touch with these people, because that, you know, when the chips were down, they were really there for you, and I want to be there for them as well. Now is the time when you need, you know, all those connections, because, you know, you've got to start going back to work. You've got to start doing things as normal, and so with groups such as this, you know, it's invaluable. It's absolutely invaluable. And thank God I gave it a chance and didn't think it was a load of people just coming here talking about cancer. Thank God I made that step into the unknown. And that's what it's about. And life's too short. Flipping heck, life is too short. My car failed its MOT the other week, and it was a bit of a write-off. I'm thinking, so what? Okay, that's not good. But it's only a flipping car, you know. Let's get real. So, you know, your whole mindset changes when you've had a diagnosis like this, and for the better. I've become a better person with the things I've learned over this past sort of 18 months, about people, about what's important, about what's not important, about how you treat people, about how they treat you, and about avoiding people who don't make you feel good. That was a big one. And always learn how to say no as well. That's such a good one. That's such a good one. And I've actually learned it at the grand age of 62. I think I'm learning the meaning of life at 62, which is great. So life begins at 62, hopefully. Thanks for listening.